So in last class we studied two-dimensional array. So in that two-dimensional array we studied the memory representation in two different methods. One is row major order, another one is column major order. So in that we studied how to represent the array elements in the memory, right? So we have two methods, right? Likewise, if we are reading the elements, so that reading the elements is also in of two types. So that is row major order, column major order. We can read the elements in the method of row major order or column major order. So this is a program to read and print the array elements in row major order. Okay, which means first it will read the first row element and then second row elements and then third row elements likewise. So for printing the same code will be used. So first we are using the row method, right? So in row major order, suppose consider this example. I declared array A, so which is of two-dimensional array. I declared I for storing the row index, J column index, row order and then column order. You can take m, n value or c, which variable you are feeling good. Okay. So now I entered the order of the matrix. So I entered row order and then column order. So suppose take R value as 2 and column value as 3. So which means I am representing the matrix 2 cross 3. So which contains 2 rows, 3 columns. So I entered the values. Now I need to enter the elements into that matrix, right? So first what is there? For I is equal to 0. So why we are declaring as 0? Always the array starts with index 0. So that's why I declared I value as I equals 0. So now check the condition. I less than or what is R value? That is 2, right? So 0 less than 2, it will true. Okay, now it will enter to the for loop, inner for loop, right? We are using two for loops to read the elements in a two-dimensional array. So one loop is for row, another loop is for column, right? So now I entered into the another for loop, J value equals 0, right? So I need to check the condition. What is the C value? C value is 3. So 0 is less than 3, true, right? So now I entered into the for loop. What is there in that for loop? We are reading the elements A of I, J. So this I refers, first we are reading row element, then column, right? So first A of what is I value? I value is 0. What is J value? J value is also 0. Now I need to provide the value for this A of 0, 0. So now I enter value 10. Okay. So next again this loop will be repeated. J value become J plus plus means 0 plus 1. So J value becomes 1. Again it will enter here. What is value? So A of what is I value? I value is 0. What is J value? J value is 1. So for 0, 1 I entered some value. Okay. So again the loop will be repeated. So again J value incremented, that becomes 1 plus 1 is 2. So 2 less than 3, true, it will enter to the for loop. Now A of what is I value? I value is 0, J value is 2. So A of 0 to I enter some value, right? So again it will go back to the for loop and increment the J value. Now J value becomes 3. So 3 less than 3, false. So it will go to the upper for loop. It becomes false. Now this I value becomes incremented. Now I value becomes 1. So check 1 less than 2, true. Now it will enter into this for loop. So what is J value? J value is initially 0. So now check the condition. 0 less than 3, true, it will enter here. Now a of what is I value? I value is 1. What is j value? J value is 0. Right. Now I enter some value here. Okay. So again it will go back to the for loop. Increment the j value. J value becomes 1. 1 less than 3, true, it will comes here. What is I value? I value is 1. J value is also 1. I enter some value. Again it will go back to the loop. Increment the j value. J value becomes 2. 2 less than 3, true. So a of 1, 2, it becomes, I entered some value here, right? So again the loop will be repeated. Now j value become incremented, that is 3. So 3 less than 3, so it is false. So it will go back to the for loop. So now increment the I value. So I value becomes 2. 2 less than 2, it is also false. Comes out of the this block of code, means for loop, comes out of this for loop. So this is the way how the elements will be stored in row wise. So which means first I entered the row value and then column value. So now I entered the values in an array, right? So now I need to print these values in an array. So for that we are using the same code. So again the for loop becomes, I value become initially I assigned as 0. So check the condition, that is I less than r, right? 0 less than r value is 2, right? So 0 less than 2, true. Again it will comes to the inner for loop. J value is 0. So 0 less than 3, true, it will enters into the for loop, right? So here we have a of ij. So what is I value? I value is 0, j value is also 0. So what is a of 0, 0? That is 10, right? So it displays 10. So again it will go back to the for loop, increment the j value. So j value becomes 1. Check the condition, 1 less than 3, true, it will enter into the for loop. Now what is I value? 0, j value 1. A of 0, 1 is 20. So 20 will be displayed. Again it will go back to the for loop, increment the j value becomes 2. Now a of ij means a of 0, 2. What is a of 0, 2? That is 30. So 30 will be displayed on the screen. Next it will increment the j value. J value becomes 3, right? So 3 less than 3, false. It comes out of the for loop and print endl. So why we use endl? To go to the next line. So whatever the values will be printed after this loop, that comes to the next line, not continued. Okay. So it will gives endl. So the cursor will comes after that line, right? So again it will go back to the for loop, increment the I value. Now I value becomes 1, right? Again it will comes to the for loop, j value becomes 0. Then entered into the, check the condition, that is 0 less than 3, true, it will enter into the for loop. Now in this for loop a of ij, right? What is I value? 1, j value 0. What is a of 0, 1? Sorry, 1, 0. So that is 40. So 40 will be displayed here. Again it will repeat the loop. So I value, j value becomes 1. What is 1? A of 1, 1 is 50. So 50 will be displayed. Again the j value incremented, that is 2. So what is a of 1, 2? That is 60. So 60 will be displayed on the screen. Again it will increment the j value. J value becomes 3. 3 less than 3, false. It will comes here. The cursor will comes to the next line. So again go back to the for loop, increment the I value. So I value becomes false. 2 less than 2, false. So finally we will get this as an output for row major order. So if we are inserting the elements as row major order, we will get this output, right? So how we will get the output? That is 10, 20. So this is the output we are getting for row major order. So now see how to read the elements in column major order. So for column major order, what is meant by column major order? Means first it has to be read the first column elements, second column elements, third column elements and so on, right? So for that I will change the condition. So first it has to be read the column. So I will represent it as column C. So again next we have to read the rows, right? So I will represent row. So here also first we need to read the column index and then row index. Just I interchange the rows and columns. Remaining thing will be same. Okay. So why we are changing this means if we are using column major order, first it has to be read the columns. You can change the variables I and j also. So if it is changed, no problem. If it is not changed, no problem. Okay. We are just using one variable to store that index. It may be I, J, A, B, C, anything. Okay. In general, we are using like this. So first we need to read the column elements. So for that I am providing the column order first and then row order. Okay. So for storing also first it has to be read the rows and then columns, right? So for that I am. So if I mention I, J here what is the I variable indicates? I variable indicates column. So in normal matrix, if we are representing the matrix, always the first index represents rows. Okay. So suppose if I declare like this, okay, A of 5, 5. So always this first index refers for rows. Second index refers for columns. Okay. So first it has to be read the rows. So for this I am interchanging the variables. So first it has to be read the j value and then I value. So this is rows, this is columns, right? So that's why I interchange the index also. For printing those values, we are using same code because if we interchange these columns and rows condition, so that matrix becomes reverse. Okay. Suppose I entered 2 cross 3 as a R value and C value. So if I interchange these values C and then R, then the printed values becomes 3 cross 2. But that is wrong, right? So whatever we read, those data will be printed as it is. So if we read 2 cross 2 means the output will be also 2 cross 2 only. So that first it has to be read R value and then C value. So this will be same as it is. There is no changes in printing the values. Okay. So only changes made in the reading the elements. Let me know how it will be exactly work. Okay. So what is R value? Take the same example. C value 3. Okay. So now I becomes 0. I equals 0. So I less than C. What is the value of C? 3, right? So 0 less than 3, true. It will enter into the for loop. What is J value? J value is 0. Check the condition. 0 less than R. What is R? That is 2, right? 0 less than 2, true. It will enter into the for loop. So in that for loop we have A of J I. So what is A? J value is 0. I value is 0. So I entered some value here. Okay. So again it will go back to the for loop, increment the J value. So J value becomes 1. So now check the condition. 1 less than 2, true. It will enter here. So what is the value? A of What is j value? 1. I value is 0. I entered some value. Okay. So again it will go back to the for loop, increment the j value. Now j value 2 less than 2 false, it will go to the upper for loop and increment the I value. Now check 1 less than 3 true, again it will enter into the for loop, j value becomes 0. Now 0 less than 2 true, so it will enter into the for loop. Now a of what is j value? J value is 0, I value is 1. So now I entered some value to this position. Okay. So again the for loop will be repeated, right? So j value incremented, a of what is j? 1, I value is also 1. So now I enter some value in the index. Again the for loop will be repeated. It increments the value as a 2. So 2 less than 2 false. It will go back to the for loop and increment the I value. So I value becomes 2. 2 less than 3 true. Again it will enters into the for loop. J value becomes 0. Again 0 less than 2 true. It will enter into the for loop. What is j value? J value is 0. What is I value? I value is 2. Now I entered some value here. Again the loop will be repeated. Increment the j value. Condition is true. J value is 1 and I value is 2. So I enter some value here. Again loop will be repeated. Increment the j value. J value becomes 2. 2 less than 2 false. It will go back to the upper for loop. Increment the I value. So I value becomes 3. 3 less than 3 false. The condition, both the condition becomes false. Comes out of the for loop and comes here. So again it has to be print that values, right? So again this for loop will be worked same. So I value is initially 0. What is R value? That is 2. So it will work same as it is. Just go through this. I value is 0. J value is also 0. Both conditions are true. So it will enter here. So here we are a of ij. So what is ij? That is a of 0 0. What is a of 0 0? That is a of 0 0 is 10. So it display 10, right? So again j value incremented becomes 1. J value 1. So the condition is true. What is a of 0 1? 0 1 is 30. So 30 will be displayed. Again j value incremented, that is 2. So the condition is true. A of 0 2. A of 0 2, that is 50 will be displayed. So again j value incremented 3 less than 3. Condition false. It comes to here. Ended means it will go to the next line, right? So again the for loop increment the I value. J value becomes 0. A of 1 0. A of 1 0 is 20 is displayed, right? So again increment the j value. A of 1 1 is 40. Again increment the j value. A of 1 2 is 60. Condition increment the j value. Condition becomes false. Go to the upper loop and then increment the I value. Condition becomes false. This is the printed output we will get. This is a difference between row major order and then column major order. Just see, I enter 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Here also I enter 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 and 60. Right. So in row major order, first I declared 2 rows and 3 columns. Right. So first in that it will be displayed row wise. Right. So first it will display and then second row, okay, this is first row, this is second row, right? So first it has to be filled the one row and then comes for the next row. So here this is column. So first it has to be filled one column. So means this is one column, this is second column, this is third column. Likewise it has to be stored, read and print the values. Okay. So this is about row major order and column major order. So next we have to know what are the advantages, disadvantages advantages and applications of array. Okay. So let me know first what are the applications of array. Means so now see what are the applications of array. Applications means where exactly this concept we are using in normal life, right? So ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿ array concept ನ use ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ. So arrays are used in different other data structures. Okay. First application is we are using this arrays in other data structures. So we know different data structure, different types of data structures, right? So in that one is array. So this array is used in other data structures like stack, queues, linked list. Okay, so these are the other data structures we will study afterwards. So in these concepts we are applying this array to represent these data structures. So what is the first advantage of array means the array is used in other data structures such as stacks, queues, linked list, heaps. Okay, so these data structures are using this array concept. Okay, so that is the first advantage. So array is used in other data structures such as stacks, queues, linked list, etc. So second advantage is this array is used in mathematical vectors and matrices. Okay, so this array is used in mathematical vectors and matrices. You know matrix, right? So matrix means arranging the elements in row and column as a collection of elements in row and column. We call it as matrix, right? So arrangement of rows and columns we call it as matrix. This concept you know. So vectors means we are using like this vector A, vector B. So that concept is present in mathematics. So in that concept we are using this array. Okay. So this is the second application of arrays. What is second application? Arrays are used in mathematical vectors and matrices. And third application is these arrays are used in database. So we have database means logically related data, we call it as collection of logically related data, we call it as database. Means the database contains the related data, collection of related data. So in the database concept we are using this array to implement records. Okay, so suppose if we take this as a database, so in this database to insert the records means this. To insert that record we are using the concept arrays. So this is a third application of arrays. Okay, so arrays are used in a database to implement records. So these are some applications of arrays. So first one is arrays are used in other data structures like stacks, queues, heaps, etc. So next one is arrays are used in mathematical vectors and matrices. And third one is arrays are used in database to implement the records. So these are the applications of arrays. Next we know what are the advantages of arrays. So what are the advantages of arrays? So advantages of arrays is first one is we can represent the multiple data items in a single data type and a single name. So what is array? Array is a collection of similar data items under the same name, right? So we can insert multiple items. Means this is one item, this is another item, this is another item. Means multiple items can be represented in a single variable or single name under single data. So if we are using like this, int a of 20, okay, so I entered 20 values. So that is multiple items, data items are represented using the same name and same data type. So that is the first advantage of multiple data item. So that is the first advantage of arrays. So what is the advantage of array? Means array can be represented the multiple data items in a single data type under same name. So that is the first advantage of array. So second advantage of an array is, so this array is used in different data structures, right? So this array concept is implemented with the other data structures. That is the second advantage. Means, so this array is used to implement the other data structure. Suppose we are taking stacks. So this stack is represented with the help of this arrays only. Okay, so which means this stack is implemented with the help of array. So like that we have different data structures, right? So those data structures are implemented with the help of this array. Okay, so array is used to implement the other data structures like stacks, queues, linked list, etc. So that is the second advantage of array. So next advantage is, we know that the two-dimensional means 2D array is used to represent the matrix, right? So this is the third advantage of array. So 2D array is used to represent the matrices. So these are the advantages of arrays. We are not taking one dimension, two dimension. In general, we are saying what are the advantages of array. So first advantage is, we can store the we can represent the multiple data items under the same name with the same data type. And second advantage is, arrays are used to implement the other data structures like stacks and queues. So third one is, two-dimensional array is used to represent the matrices. So these are the advantages of an array. So if it has an advantage, there must be a disadvantage in that array. So next we will study the disadvantages of array. So first disadvantage is, the size of an array should be known in advance. Size of an array. So if I declared int a of 5, so which means the size of an array is 5, right? So which means we know the size of an array in advance. So that leads to some problem. So this is the first disadvantages of an array. So first disadvantage is, size of an array should be known in advance. Okay. So second disadvantage is, this array is a static structure. So this array is a static structure. So static structure means the array should be of fixed size. So if we declare array A of 5 means this array should be of the size 5, right? So it should be fixed. It will not be incremented or decrement the allocation of memory. So that is the second disadvantage of array. So this array is a static structure, which means it is a fixed in size, so that if it is fixed, we cannot increment the array or decrement the array. Okay. So if it is declared 5, so it has to be a 5 elements to be inserted. So for that, if I want to add extra element means we cannot increase the allocation of the memory, right? If I declared 4, if I want to insert only 4 means I cannot decrease the memory location of that array. So that is second disadvantage. Just nothing there. So if I declared as a fixed size means array is a fixed size, we cannot increment or decrement the memory allocation for that an array. Okay. So for that array we cannot increment or decrement the memory location. So next, third one is, so if it is fixed size, if I want to declare like this, okay. So suppose I declared A of 50. So which means it allocates the memory space up to 50, right? So starts with 0 means 49. So it will store the it will create the memory location for this array A. So if I insert only 5 elements, so I insert only 5 elements. So this remaining memory will be wasted, right? So when I declare more memory, more size for an array compared to the required space, so the remaining space will be wasted. So if I declared only the array size as 3, so I need to enter 5 values. So I cannot create the memory space for that. It leads to some problem. Okay. So we cannot create that extra memory space. So that is the third disadvantage of an array. So since we know that it is a fixed size, so if we are allocate more memory space compared to the required memory space. So required memory is only 5. So but I allocate the memory 50. So the remaining will be wasted. So that is the third disadvantage. Next, fourth disadvantage is so if we declare the memory, if we allocate less memory space compared to the required memory space, it leads to some problem. So the last disadvantage of this array is, so we know that we are inserting the elements in the memory in consecutive manner or sequential manner, right? So the elements of an array is stored in consecutive memory location or sequential memory location. So if it is stored like this, if we want to insert or delete of any element in an array, it takes too much of time. So you know the algorithm of insert and delete, right? So if you want to insert an element, we are shifting all the elements, right? So it takes too much of time. So if you want to delete the element also, if we delete this, we have to shift these elements to this side, right? So this creates a lot of time to perform this operation, and it is very difficult to perform. So this is the 4 disadvantages of array. So first one is the size should be known in advance, and second one is the array is static structure, which means fixed size. So if it is allocated the memory for an array that cannot be increment or decrement. So third one is, since it is a fixed of size, the allocated memory is more than the required memory, so that becomes the wastage of memory. So if the allocated memory is less than the required memory, so it creates a problem in that. So last one is the elements of an array is stored in consecutive memory location. So if we want to insert or delete an element in that array, so it is very difficult and time efficiency. Okay, so this is about an array. So I think you people remember the classification of data structure. So in that we have two types, primitive and non-primitive data type. So in that non-primitive data type is divided into three parts. One is array, another one is list, another one is file. So we studied one concept, that is array. So and in this array we have different types that will be studied. So next concept is list. Okay, so list means it is a collection of data elements. So list is a collection of data elements. So list is a collection of data elements. So this list is divided into two types, or it is classified as two types. One is linear data structure, another one is non-linear data structure. So this list is divided into two types, or classified into two types. One is linear data structure, another one is non-linear data structure. So what is this linear data structure? Okay, so linear data structure, it is a type of data structure in which each element has a linear relationship between them. Okay, so what does this mean by linear relationship means? So it is a type, linear data structure is a data structure in which each element has a linear relationship between them. So which means each element in that will be have the relationship between the another element. Okay, so this is linear data structure. So next we have non-linear data structure. So non-linear data structure means which has the relationship between all other elements in an array. So non-linear data structure means it is a data structure which has the relationship with the other elements. One after the other it will be stored. So it has a different types. We have stacks, queues and linked lists. So these are the examples or different types of linear data structures. So these things will be studied in next class.